it's still the same day. As it turns out, I just have more that I want to talk about. A new and exciting thing that was announced in this Switch 2 presentation was the Switch 2 Edition games. Switch 1 games that are being brought to the Switch 2, enhanced, going to be looking a little bit better, and some having a bunch more content. And this seems to vary game to game. You know, some of them look like they just have like a large graphical update. Other ones seem to have entirely new content. Kirby and the Forgotten Land having a whole new like story campaign, like little side story taking place. And Jamboree having a whole new mode with a bunch of new mini games only possible on the Switch 2. So I wanted to highlight a couple of games on the Switch 1 that I think will be really good contenders for Switch 2 editions, and ones that could really stand to benefit for one reason or another from a massive upgrade such as this one. Now, immediately 2 games come to mind. Scarlet and Violet are good games. However, they are riddled with performance issues, and it's so clear that, to me anyway, that these games did not have enough time in the oven. I think these are already on the list, actually, for getting like an additional Switch, upgrade. I don't know if it was a Switch 2 edition or if it was just a, like, this is compatible on Switch 2 and we'll maybe get a graphical buff. But I think the potential is limitless for how much these games could be improved. I don't know how deeply they are going to look at each game individually and, give them special treatment for these editions. But I think that if there's any game that like benefits, or games, I guess, in this case, that, could stand to benefit, it's these two. Make it run better, update some of those visuals, maybe add some more Pokemon if like you're so inclined, but I don't even think that part's necessary. I think just, making it run well will drastically change the product that this is. Beyond that, one game came to mind immediately when I saw the mouse controls, and that is Mario Maker. Mario Maker was a huge thing on Wii U and a big thing on Switch, but I don't think the lightning struck exactly the same way the second time around. I think a lot of that had to do with convenience of controls. So having a mouse to help with the cursor from Mario Maker levels, I think will drastically increase how convenient it is to just play the game. In fact, like if I were to just say a single game that I think we could see, Switch 2 edition of in the future, it would be this. This game even like introduced like new themes, but then just gave us 3D World and nothing else. So like it definitely is a second chance to like rectify that and like, add a wonder theme. I think that would certainly, get a lot of people excited about Mario Maker again. Speaking of Mario, I think Odyssey was also on the list. But this one, I mean, like Odyssey already looks so gorgeous. So being put on Switch 2 will really make this game pop. I am also a little sad that Mario Odyssey never got like a massive content update. I know it got like Luigi's Balloon hide and seek extravaganza or something like that. But we never got like a huge like DLC expansion or anything like that. This game was kind of early in the Switch's life, so it was kind of before we were used to seeing big DLC upgrades like that. So I would love to see what they do with Odyssey for a second chance and what they would add and how it would look. I think that if I had my say in it, I would prefer an Odyssey 2. But this would be good as well. These two games are in a similar situation that Scarlet and Violet were, as two games that I think were already listed and could really use a benefit in the performance area. I love Link's Awakening Remake and Echoes of Wisdom. They both, first of all, they look gorgeous. So on Switch 2, they will look positively immaculate, but they struggle to run. More than, like, it really feels like they should. It felt like when playing that there was a bit of slowdown, a bit of frame drops, and just like something like even like the fuzz effect of like, you know, things being in focus and out of focus. It always just looked a little messy to me. You know, some people who might have played these games and just not been a fan of the performance might enjoy it a whole lot more if it, you know, ran better. Of course, we got to talk Pikmin. We didn't see Pikmin at all, I think, in any of the lists that they showed. So Pikmin is totally like in a mystery zone as to what they plan to do with it. I think Pikmin 4 is probably the obvious contender. We never really got DLC for Pikmin 4, which is a huge shame. Again, this is a huge opportunity to add new fun content for Pikmin 4, as well as change like a few things, because Pikmin 4 is just like one or two small steps away from being literally perfect. Things like making enemies respawn and stuff like that. So here's a chance to add some of those, you know, little fixes or little changes that could really push the game into like a whole new tier of perfect. But I do want to also bring up Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, like, its art style is much more realistic and a lot more just lively than Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 is a brilliant game, don't get me wrong, but it definitely goes for a more plasticky look, a little bit more of just a gamey vibe. Whereas Pikmin 3 genuinely feels like I'm on like a living, breathing like world as I play it. Pikmin 3 on Switch 2 graphics would be unbelievable. Speaking of games that already had unbelievable graphics on Switch 1 that could use a major boost in Switch 2, is Luigi's Mansion 3. Right out the gate, the game already looks spectacular. So, like, I know a lot of people who would claim that this game is the best looking game on Switch. I think that was the case when it came out. I don't know if it's the case today, but I do think that it looks phenomenal, and on Switch 2, it would only, like, benefit to, like, highlight just how amazing it looks. You could get new content as well. I don't exactly know like what they would do. You know, I think anything would be cool. Maybe some new scare scraper stuff that uses like mouse controls. I don't know, am I reaching? Maybe we're gonna see Luigi's Mansion 4. I mean, who knows? Like, you know, we're in a Wild West right now. But if a Luigi's Mansion 4 is not on their radar, then I think bringing this up would be the best move to make. To really just showcase Luigi's, you know, Spotlight series. Now, for a bit of an odd duck that's in a unique situation, WarioWare. In the presentation, they talked about certain games that will not be compatible, or at least not fully compatible, on Switch 2. I believe this game specifically was one of them, WarioWare Move It, because it involves like something regarding like needing a Switch 1 Joy-Con. So this game might not be compatible. So maybe that's a great reason to give it a Switch 2 edition upgrade to then make it compatible. I guess you wouldn't be able to do like an upgrade, you know, like the typical, you know, you have this game, spend like $10 and, you know, upgrade it up if it's like not compatible. But I don't know, like, as long as there's data in your system for it, like, it should be fine, right? I guess they could also do Get It Together, because I don't think Get It Together had the same issues as Move It in, you know, the Joy-Con compatibility. I didn't like Get It Together as much as I liked Move It personally. WarioWare games seem to happen whether we ask for them or not. They kind of just show up whenever we least expect it. So I'm sure we'll hear from Wario again sometime. It's just a question of, like, will it be something new, or will they try and bring up one of the previous games? Princess Peach Showtime comes to mind as well. I streamed Princess Peach Showtime, and it had a couple of those, like, slowdown or frame rate situations that I remember having in Link's Awakening / Echoes of Wisdom. So this could be a good candidate as well. I also think I would love to see, you know, like, new additional content brought to this. You know, you can have like a new, this is a great, I think, contender for like a new side story. You know, give Peach 2 or 3 new costumes, go through a few new levels, you know, and fight like Madame Grape's husband, Mr. Lemon. I think it's a strong example for the kind of game that, like, I've, you know, been talking about this whole video so far. Games that could use a graphical update, which is all of them. Games that could use a performance update, which is some of them. and games that, you know, have a wide range of additional content that could be added. I originally thought that they would only really be looking at things that could take advantage of Switch 2 features or gimmicks, you know, like the mouse or voice control, things like that. And that definitely seems the case with like Jamboree. But knowing that Kirby is getting a whole new story, and I don't think it is going to rely on those things, tells me that, you know, anything's really possible. What's happening with Paper Mario? I don't know. Is Thousand Year Door even viable? Like, because it's a remake already, and like, will we see, you know, like, game, remake, Switch 2 edition? Like how far do we go down that rabbit hole? So like, do we do Origami King instead? You know, I think most people enjoy Origami King, but like there's, you know, a number of issues that people have with it, myself included. I do think both of these games look great, so graphical update will do wonders for them. I also had the thought with these that like the side content could be like visiting or like having a small little crossover with the other. Like if you do Origami King, have them visit to Rogueport. Vice versa, you can be in Thousand Year Door and go to like its Toad Town and like throw some confetti around. I don't know, that's like, we're starting to enter like what I, you know, think is plausible to now like what I just think will be cool. But I mean, like, that's the speculation, man. Like that's what it's all about. That's what we're here for. And lastly, for the list here, I think, you know, any Xenoblade, all of them would be good picks. They're all phenomenal games. They're all huge games. They all have a ton of content, but could certainly use more. They all look gorgeous. Everyone says 3 is the best. I've never gotten as far as Xenoblade 3, so I don't know for sure. I don't know if they would go to 3 right away, or if they care to like start at the first one. I don't know how they'd go about it, but I mean, I think any Xenoblade is a strong choice. But yeah, those are all the games that I pulled from my shelf as plausible Switch 2 edition titles. Is there anything that I didn't think of that you guys think would make an excellent Switch 2 edition? I mean, we might even get like third-party titles. Like I thought of some things like Bayonetta Origins or Monster Hunter Rise, or just certain games that like were third-party but only came out on Switch. Could we see Switch 2 editions of those? Who knows? Yeah, I think that's all for now. I can't keep recording these videos. I gotta edit some of them. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I'm just having fun. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next spontaneous video that I make. Take care.